Hey youth leaders, Pastor John here. This is the vlog for April 25th and 26th. So we ended our series in James, and now we're going to start a topical series dealing with subjects that students will deal with in school and at home. The first topic that I've chosen is depression. Students deal with this amongst their friends. I think every one of our students has a friend who struggles with depression. And again, let me reiterate, this is for senior high. Junior high will be dealing with a different topic. But in senior high, we're going to talk about depression out of Psalm 143. So go ahead and read that. It's a Psalm of David where he is feeling particularly underfoot, and so he cries out to the Lord. But let me deal with our true-false questions and discussion questions. True-false, number one, no one in the Bible dealt with depression. That's false. Just so you're aware, the true-false questions will be easier because I think you'll spend a lot more time on the discussion questions, even though it doesn't always pan out if I don't word these perfectly. Number two, depression is a spiritual problem and shouldn't be dealt with physically. This is also false. We know that depression is both spiritual and has physical ramifications. So, if somebody's really, really depressed, they should definitely go see their doctor. Number three, even good Christians deal with depression. That's definitely true. I mean, we're reading a Psalm of David, who was a man after God's own heart, and he's dealing with depression. Number four, depression can be a very serious disorder and should not be treated lightly. This is true. We definitely don't want kids to leave this time that we have in dealing with this topic and think that we are flippant somehow about depression, because that's awful. Number five, sometimes depression occurs when we take our eyes off God's goodness and focus on our own problems. This is a true statement. There are times that depression, and I would say there's probably a majority of times that depression is because we're so self-focused. And when things don't go right for us, we can't handle it. And I think one of the cures for depression, and maybe not clinical or very serious depression, but one of the cures and one of the eases of depression is to take our eyes off ourselves and to see the rest of the world. And to see what's going on in the rest of the world, and also to see God's goodness and to see His provision in our lives. So that's your true-false. Discussion questions. Why do you think depression leads some people to suicide? What helps do Christians have against letting depression cause that type of permanent decision? And so you're going to get varied answers on the first part of this question. Why do they think it does? Because of thoughts of hopelessness and thoughts of these things never ending. But what helps do Christians have? First, we have God and His goodness. Then we have His provision of a church family that can come alongside us. Then we have the hope that our future is secured in Christ Jesus and that we will live for eternity in paradise. So that's kind of where I'm heading with that. Number two, there are some Christians that think depression is not real. Why do they say that? Why don't we believe that here? So there are certain cults and sects of Christianity that would say, oh, depression is not real, it's all in your head, you got to get over yourself. But we don't say that here because we believe that we live in fallen bodies that are prone to chemical imbalances and are prone to hurting. And there are some Christians that just don't believe that stuff is true, which is crazy talk. Third, discussion questions. How can you as a Christian help those who are struggling with depression? In this instance, we want to talk about the gospel and the hope that's found there. So senior high, that's where we're going for you this week, and we'll handle the junior high stuff in just a second at the end of this. But I'm praying for you, senior high leaders. This is definitely a difficult topic to talk about, especially in a world that is rampant with depression. So anyway, praying for you. Thanks. All right, junior high leaders, we are going to be talking about idols this week. We're going to be talking about those good things that become God things. And so here are our true and false questions. I don't have any weird statues on my mantle at home, so I don't have any idols. That's false. Most people, almost all people, have something that they are focused on that may be a good thing, but isn't a God thing. Number 2, what I spend most of my time on is what I am worshiping. That is a true statement. What I spend most of my time doing, those are the things that I'm worshiping, whether it's sports or video games or whatever it is. Number 3, idols are most often good things that I let get too important. That is true. They are. Sometimes we let good things that God has given us as a blessing become too important, and then they become idols. Number 4, I should spend as much time as possible on the things I like because God gave me those things. This sounds like a pious statement, but it is false. Just because God has allowed you or blessed you with a good thing doesn't mean that you ignore Him for those things. Discussion questions. If God is the giver of all good things, why shouldn't I spend all my time doing those things? So this flows out of the last question, the true-false question, and it should be answered in terms of because good things aren't God, and we should let God be God. Number 2, how do I find balance between the good things and the best thing being God? And I think that is a focus question. I should remain focused, even in the good things, I should remain focused on God and His goodness to us. So that's the junior high lesson for this week. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks for coming out. Talk to you later. Praying for you. Bye.